Mountain bike wheels don't come much blinger than Enve. They've been around for a little while now. Before their Enve, they were known as Edge. The M-Series of wheels came out in 2014, and for 2018 they've just updated this with the new M-Series wheels. Since the originals came out in 2014, Enve say that the world of mountain biking has changed substantially. Cross-country has become gnarlier, more technical. Trail riders have gone for wider tyres, wanting wider rims. Enduro has gone professional. Downhill, well, that's gone tubeless, and it's gone 29 this year. So this means that Enve wanted to totally update their wheel range with wheels to suit every little niche. Previously, the wheels were named with the ratio of uphill to downhill being sort of the basis of their names. So you had the M50 for cross-country, so 50% up, 50% down. You had the M60, which was more for trail riders, where sort of there's a bit of a bias towards descending, but they had to be good at going uphill too, so the 60-40. Then you had the 70-30 for enduro riders, and then the M90 for downhill, so pretty much exclusively going downhill. For 2018, Enve have revised the naming system to give a bit more information on rim width. So whereas before you had the M60, you would now have the M635, for example. So it's still a wheel which is orientated 60% towards descending, with a 35mm internal rim width. So now that you've got a rough idea of how the naming system works, these are the wheels that are going to be offered by Enve going forward. So you have the M525, so that's for cross-country racers with a 25mm width internal rim. Then you have the 630, the 635 and the 640. Next up is the 7 Series wheels, so again this is for the enduro racers or those who are predominantly using an uplift, so say Enve. They come in the 730, the 735 and the 735E, so the E means this is for e-bikes. Then you have the M930 for downhill riders and racers. All of these wheel sets will come in both 27.5 and 29-inch options. Across the range, Enve have been working on both reducing weight and increasing the width of the rims. They've also been working on the stiffness of the wheels as well. Perhaps one of the criticisms of the M-Series wheels is that they're actually quite harsh. When you got them on a bike, you'd often get sort of sore hands and you could really feel every little bump and sort of trail undulation going through the wheels. Needless to say, Enve have realised this and they've built a set of wheels that they believe are more comfortable to ride. And in theory, this should be a good thing. Looking at the first two sets of wheels, the M525 and the M6 series, the cross-country wheels, they're coming in around 1,350 grams for the set, which is pretty light. They're a 24-spoke build. The 6 series, you're looking at around 1,500 grams, so they are pretty light for a trail wheel set, and it's looking like they're pretty competitive. The 7 series and the 9 series rims are the ones which perhaps are a little bit more interesting. Enve have built them with what they call dynamic impact design, and this comes in two forms. First off, there's a wider, better shaped hookless bead design, and this is joined with a rim strip. So the hookless bead design is there in theory to reduce the chance of getting pinch punctures. Normally the bead of the rim is around 3.5mm, and they've increased this to 4.5mm and given it a slightly more rounded shape, which they say dissipates energy better when there's a big impact, say on a rock or a root, and also reduces the chance of that damaging the tyre. The rim strip clips onto this as an integrated system and gives it a little bit extra width to that bead, so it's up to about 5mm, yet again decreasing the chance of those pinch punctures. And then should you crack your rim on a big impact, obviously if you crack your rims and you've bought them yourself, this isn't great. You know, it doesn't really matter to you probably at that point that you've maintained your air chamber. But Enve do build wheels for the top end of racing, so downhill racers, enduro racers. And at this point, getting to the bottom of the hill is the most important thing. So if you've cracked your rim but you can maintain the air chamber, you can still finish your race run. So this is pretty important stuff. The other thing about the rim strip is that it does offer a little bit extra protection to the rim, so say Enve. So one of the things I did ask them when we went to see Enve about this is whether I could put this rim strip on any of the other rims. And the answer is no. So the measurements of a rim are pretty specific so that the multiple tyre manufacturers can make sure that their tyres fit onto multiple rims, so there's a standard measurement. Enve have reduced the diameter of the carbon rim in order to fit the rim strip to the outside of it so you can still get tyres on and off. So you won't be able to put this rim strip onto other rims, which is a bit of a shame, but at the same time kind of understandable when you see sort of the engineering that's gone into it. Enve say that they've done a lot of testing in labs with their wheels and with competitors' wheels, whereby they're dropping big weights from varying heights onto an inflated tyre on the rim. Everything's sort of repeatable. They're claiming that they haven't even managed to pinch puncture on some of the setups that they've done. This is obviously quite big claims and something which we're going to remain a little bit sceptical of for now. We are looking forward to getting a set of wheels to test for longer term, and obviously we are going to try and reduce our tyre pressures to the point where, to silliness really, to see if we can actually pinch them. But they're pretty bold claims, so it's going to be quite interesting to see. As I said earlier in the video, Enve wheels in the past have always been actually quite harsh, and Enve clearly have been working towards making the wheels a bit more comfortable to ride for the everyday rider and for racers as well. I've only had half a day riding the 730 wheels. Needless to say though, actually they probably were a little bit softer than previous Enve wheels I have ridden in the past. I rode them at Bike Park Wales, which isn't the smoothest of surfaces, and after a day of uplifting there, your hands generally speaking are pretty knackered. I was riding on a bike with a RockShox Yari fork, which has the less sophisticated motion damper, which again is noticeably less sort of smooth and supple than, say, a Pike with an RCT3 or an RC damper. And I got to the end of the day and my hands weren't absolutely ruined, which is kind of what I'd expect from riding Bike Park Wales with a carbon wheel set with a relatively basic fork. So on the face of it, maybe they've done a good job. But as I say, we're going to get a few sets in and we're going to spend a lot more time riding them and testing them before we come to any genuine conclusions on the wheels.